Hey, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment and boxing capital of the world. Today we have a special guest, none other than the director, president of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and my beautiful guest, co-host,
Hey,
Shelly
everybody,
Stevens.
welcome.
Okay, guys, we are going to have somebody very special today to talk to you about September 28th, is the induction of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. And I have the honor of having our dear guest, Ray McCline. How you doing, Ray?
Hey, how you doing, Joe? Thank you for having me on, Shelly as well. Nice to make your acquaintance.
You too. It's our pleasure.
I'll tell you, it really is an honor, Ray, to be having you on our show today, because so many people have been talking about these inductions around the country, but there's nothing like Atlantic City. Atlantic City is where I used to start refereeing for my first 15 years in boxing, was at the Atlantic City, and there's so many fights there, and I have the honor. Thank you very much for having me as an inductee this year, 2025. So it's just been a great honor. Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, let me say congratulations to you again. You know, I know we spoke early January, I think February, when I first called you to inform you of your selection for this year's Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame class. And it was an honor and a pleasure, speaking with you then.
I tell you, it's been an honor, because not every day you get a phone call like that. I was surprised. People ask me all the time, Joe, how do you get inducted to the Hall of Fame? I say, it's just something that happens. You have to earn it. You have to really earn it. I did 35 years as a referee, and the only way you're going to get inducted by the fans, the historians in boxing, all the individuals that you have that actually are the ones that make it happen for you. And when I got that call from you, it was really an honor to get a call for that show to be inducted on the 28th of September. It was really something.
And again, it's because of the body of work that you've done, throughout your outstanding career, not just here in Atlantic City, but throughout the country, throughout the world. I mean, but for us, we claim you as one of our own. Because here in Atlantic City in the early 70s, late 70s, 80s, you were one of the top referees here, in the state, along with the commissioner.
Yeah, Commissioner Larry Hazard was Commissioner Larry Hazard was one of the top referees in Las Vegas when we started refereeing there in 1977. And I remember that Larry Hazard and we used to talk every day, 3 or 4 times a day, talking about the different scenarios of a referee's duties, and that's how we kind of revolutionized refereeing. I mean, the way Larry Hazard and I did it was like almost day and night. We were working on it to get it to perfection, to make it just right for the referees, making sure the fighters would take unnecessary punishment, and to make sure that the fans understood the game that we're supposed to be, especially with the officials.
And you've seen that, in how the fight went, and and how you guys moved, so gracefully. To command and tape, those events now, people are, so not just the fighters that they recognize the names of the judges, the referees, and the officials that were a part of it, at that time. And, that was just because of the work that, the great work that you guys did, back then during those bouts.
Right. It's something that a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes. It takes a lot of work. A good commissioner, like Larry Hazard, has been doing so many years, about 40 years in Atlantic City, and in the whole state of New Jersey. But it takes a good commissioner to make the team of officials, judges, and referee do the right job.
So, Ray, how did you get involved in all of this from the beginning? Now you're president, right, of the Hall of Fame in Atlantic City. That's great. How did you get involved with this?
Well, for me, the Hall of Fame it started for me in 2014. That was when I established it, the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. But it actually predated that. Probably 2010 is when I first had the idea of doing this, and then building the courage to actually start it, and then putting together the team, and to get it to where we are now. And that started, like I said, in 2014. We did our first induction ceremony weekend was in 2017, and here we are, 2025. And it's been a unbelievable journey with a great team, behind me and with me.
That's wonderful. I can't wait until we meet you when we come out there.
Talking about the days back in the 70s when I started refereeing in Atlantic City, Jersey Joe Walcott was the chairman of the commission at the time, and Larry Hazard and I were just starting out, from the amateurs, and then we went into the pros in the late 70s. And Larry Hazard was really a person that really did a lot for boxing. He was not only a good referee, but he's an individual. He was a principal of a high school in New Jersey, and then from then on, we kept on with the boxing. And we're going to thank Larry Hazard for where boxing is at today in New Jersey, because it's been ongoing, the big fights. But I remember when we used to do fights in Atlantic City, Larry Hazard we would go out there. Sometimes we had to get a room there because sometimes we had to stay there. We had fights maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes even Sunday. 5 nights a week sometimes. It was crazy.
And sometimes, and back then, sometimes it would be 2 fights, on the same, on the same day.
Exactly.
Friday and Saturday at different casinos. I mean,
exactly.
Literally, it was the heyday, of boxing, especially here in Atlantic City.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
And to speak on the great commissioner, as well, Jersey Joe Walcott, he, again, a great man, a revolutionary, in so many different ways, and what he did, for boxing, especially, again, here in the state of New Jersey, and in particular Atlantic City. And the irony is his grandson, Vince Cream, his wife actually works for me with the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. So she is the communications like liaison with all the inductees. So it's just the through line, still from Jersey Joe Walcott's legacy is still involved today.
Exactly. I was living in Hackensack, New Jersey, when I was refereeing out there, and I remember after when we finished the show, Jersey Joe Walker was living in Jersey City, and I would tell him, let me drop you off at the house. He didn't have a right to get there. He had probably stayed there the next day. I said, I can take you home tonight if you want. We'll get him in my car, and we'll drive to Jersey City. It was such an honor just talking to a former great heavyweight champion of the world, Jersey Joe Walker. He was one of the great ones. He was such a fine gentleman, loved by so many individuals around the world. He was loved, all the boxing fans that he had. When he was the chairman of the commission, it was like, unbelievable. You see this gentleman who was so easygoing with everybody. He was just a fan favorite. We loved him so much. May he rest in peace.
Great man and great legacy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so now, at September 2025, we have the inductees. We have about how many inductees total we have coming in?
We have 19 actually inductees. Actually, I'm sorry, 20. And we have.
We were breaking up there, but I hear the sound a little bit. We have a little problem with the audio. You don't hear you.
I think we lost the audio for a minute.
I think we lost the audio, yeah. I think the signal on the other end.
Not a problem. Let me know when you hear me.
Okay, we hear you now.
Okay. Not a problem.
Okay, so the inductees, you have 20 inductees. What are the names?
We have 20 inductees with fighters, special contributors, trainers.
So who are the fighters? Name the fighters going to be inducted.
Matt. Steve Collins and Curtis Parker are some of the fighters that we're inducting. We have Sean O'Grady, who was a boxer as well as, commentator.
Right.
We have Tommy Brooks, great trainer, who trained many champions. Jolene.
We have a little problem with the audio. We can't hear you on this end here now.
Maybe it's the weather out there. How's the weather on the East Coast?
Actually, we had some stormy weather, but it's cleared up now.
Okay, good.
Okay, can you give us the names for the top of the list again? Because we lost the audio on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Julian Jackson, Charles Brewer, Curtis Parker, Patrick Majeski, Charles Murray, Junior Jones, and Steve Collins are the fighters that are being inducted this year.
Yeah.
We also have special contributors, and Tommy Brooks, a trainer, Nick Tiberi, matchmaker, Joe Cortez, famed referee, Bernie Dillon, casino executive, who helped, during the Trump era, bring in boxing here on the grand, level with Mike Tyson and all. Jeff Jewett, longtime boxer.
I tell you, we kind of lost you again a little bit, but I can say that some of the fighters that he mentioned there now are most of the fighters I refereed back in those days in the '70s and the '80s.
Yeah, and he mentioned Atlantic City in the Trump era. I was there for that. My husband and I used to perform in Atlantic City all the time. Trump Casino, so many casinos. So it'll be nice to get back there. It's been a while.
Well, you're going to be up there when I get inducted. You and your husband are coming up to the induction in September.
We are so excited.
Hopefully, maybe Ray can hopefully he can use you and your husband to sing the national anthem at least.
That would be awesome.
Let's definitely talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we lost you there for a while, so we weren't on talking here. But I tell you, Ray, it is such an honor for me being inducted into the Atlantic City Hall of Fame. Because that's basically I started in New York City, and I remember Jersey Joe Walcott did introduce me to him one day at an event I went to in New Jersey, and when I went there. He says, I see you refereed a lot in New York. He said, I don't know you personally, but I recognize your face. He says, are you licensed in New Jersey? I said, no, I'm not. He said, I want you to be licensed in New Jersey. You like that? I said, sure. He says, I want you to come see Bob Lee, who was his assistant at the time. See Bob Lee, and I'll tell him that you're coming down. Come down next week. We'll let you have you licensed in New Jersey. It was him. He approached me in reference to being a referee in New Jersey. I loved it because it was just an honor for a gentleman like Jersey Joe Walker, the chairman of the New Jersey State Commission, to ask me to be a part of the team. And it was really a great run because I did some of my 50 fights that I did. My first 50. Well, most of them, I would say, half of them were in Atlantic City. I'm talking about championship fights. When I retired with close to 180 world championship fights under my belt. And I tell you, I
worked some great ones there.
I did some great fights. It was really an honor. I tell you, my first pro fight as a championship world pro fight was Aaron Pryor and Miguel Montilla. I couldn't believe it when Bob Lee called me and said, Joe, you're going to be assigned to your first championship fight. That was in 1982. And I felt like, wow, man, that was my dream to do one world title fight. That was the big one. Aaron Pryor, Miguel Montilla, 1982 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. That was my first world title fight. So me getting inducted to the Hall of Fame in Atlantic City means a lot to me, especially knowing that's where I first started with my first world title fight.
And to hear you say that, about Aaron Pryor, when I called Julian Jackson to inform him that he was being inducted into Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, the memory that he had as well was that was the time that he actually met Aaron Pryor.
Right. Yeah, I was able to referee Aaron Pryor, and when I was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2011 in Canastota, New York, he was there that night, and I tell you, I had to mention him as one of my first world championship fight, and I had to come up to the mic and say a couple of words, on my behalf, because he had some nice things to say about me. He just said, Joe, one thing about Joe, he's fair, but he's firm. Yeah. Yeah.
But you can have that for a reminder, as far as your, it's attached to your name and your legacy is incredible. And again, that's why we're so excited and proud to have you as one of our inductees this September. And for all you that may be listening, the Hall of Fame weekend will be taking place September the 26th, 27th, and 28th at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. And it's a great 3-day weekend of events. And, and the award induction ceremony is more like an award show, and we look forward to just honoring this great class and having our former, inductees, come back and celebrate with us as well.
No, it's going to be nice. Julian Jackson, one of the inductees, I got to referee him several times. And one time I refereed one of his fights in Spain. And he was fighting a fighter by the name of Gerald Graham. And Julian Jackson got his left eye kind of puffed up. It was closed. It was almost 100%. It was like 90% close. And I went into the corner and I told him, "Hey, champ, you got to show me something next round because I don't want you to start taking unnecessary punishment." Because he was taking some real right hand punches for the guy. 'Cause his eye was close. And he says, "Don't worry about it. Please don't stop it. I'm going to take care of it." And the bell rang. When he came out, he threw one wicked right hand, bam, and knocked out Gerald McCline. McCline, yeah. It was a great fight. It was amazing. I was this close to stopping him from continuing to fight because he was trying to get hurt with some punches, and I didn't want to see fighters, probably fighting with one eye and get hurt. But he did okay, and he ended up retaining his championship that night.
He had, just unbelievable punching power. And I mean, can literally change a fight in a moment. And he's an unbelievable person as well.
Yeah, his father's name was Gerald Graham, not McClain. Gerald Graham, Graham, Yeah, and I tell you, that guy was a good fighter, a good puncher. He had it all. But Julian Jackson, he used to say, "Joe, when you told me you were about to stop it," and he said, "I told you, no, don't worry about it. I'm going to stop it myself," and he did. He's a gentleman. I'm glad we inducted him, getting inducted because, he's from the Virgin Islands. He lived here in Las Vegas for a number of years while he was fighting, but he decided to go back to the Virgin Islands. He's a gentleman. He's a first-class guy. Yeah. What a nice guy. You fans out there watching, please make sure you reach out to Julian Jackson and all the inductees because they're all there. We're all going to be there for you guys. Without you guys, we're nobody in boxing. But we really want all you fans to attend that special event on September 26th to the 28th in Atlantic City. It is one of the greatest cities of all time for boxing.
Thank you. And we look forward to having the boxing community come out and support. Like I said, it's a great class of inductees. It's a great weekend. You can, any information that you want to pick up on the weekend, you can go to our website at, www.acbhof.com.
I think we lost him again.
Yeah. We have some of the pictures there of the induction. There's a picture there of Ray McCline, who's the president. Okay, we hear you again?
Yes. Okay. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Good. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I can't wait till we get out there in Atlantic City. I'm telling you, my husband is like a big boxing fan. That's how we became such good friends.
You guys used to perform there before,
Yeah, too? We performed there. Many casinos. Yeah, because we're from Philly originally. So it's nothing to take a 60-minute drive, whatever.
Without question. And the Hard Rock. And the Hard Rock Casino used to be, it was the former Trump Taj Mahal. So if you had visited the Trump Taj Mahal back in the day, the Hard Rock now has, renovated it and it's their brand, but it is.
Yeah, I remember that hotel. We did many fights there back in those days. And the Taj Mahal Hotel. Mm-hmm. I remember when it was first built, when it first opened up, we had one of the first big boxing events there. Mm-hmm. It was just great. I mean, there is so much history with Atlantic City. But it's taken me 3.5 hours to get there. I mean, one night I was refereeing Roberto Duran. I ran Barkley for the middleweight championship, and I had to drive out there. And I was driving from Hackensack, New Jersey, and I want to leave early in the morning because I heard there was a big snowstorm coming. I don't want to get stuck out there. When I got out there that night, they recorded 3 feet of snow.
Oh my!
I said, "Wow, that was unbelievable." Had a big snowstorm, but for the fight in Atlantic City that night, when the fight took place, I ran Barkley, middleweight champion of the world. It was 28 years of age, and Roberto Duran was about 34, 35 years of age. And people didn't give Iran Barkley, didn't give Roberto Duran a chance because they felt that Roberto Duran had gotten knocked out by Tommy Hearns. Mm-hmm. And prior to that, his opponent. I mean, he was not.
No, he wasn't.
He got knocked out by the middleweight champion himself.
Yeah, and and as you stated, that's the Iran Barkley Roberto Duran fight goes down as one of the best fights in Atlantic City's history. I mean, it's one of the top 5 fights ever, and it took place in a snowstorm, in February.
I tell you that, are you fans out there watching? You want to see a fight? Go on your YouTube channel, not only to watch our show, but to also watch the Iran Barkley and Roberto Duran fight. That's one of the best fights in boxing history. I mean, I can watch that fight over and over. I always pick up something new. Every round was better than the other. It just got better and better and better. And then when Iran Barkley got knocked down in the 11th round by 4-punch combination by Roberto Duran, it was unbelievable. It was a good thing that Roberto Duran put him down, because Roberto won a split decision. One judge gave it to Iran, the other 2 gave it to Roberto Duran. I mean, and Tommy Hearns got knocked out by the champion, and and it was just unbelievable how he came back. And Tommy Hearns had knocked out Roberto Duran. I mean, people didn't give Duran a chance because they felt Iran Barkley was just too powerful, had too much power, and much younger.
But that was the beauty. But that was the beauty of the sport back then. That these, as they call them, the 4 kings, literally fought each other. So whether they got knocked out or lost the fight, they came right back and they fought the next best, or a great champion that was out there. They took risks. And that's why they live, as legends today, is because they took risks that others didn't take.
Yeah, you got some of the fighters today that I've said, they're good. They got decent fighters out there today. They can't take that away from them. There's a couple of good ones out there, very good. But back in the old days, I can say the glory type of boxing was the 70s, the 80s, part of the 90s. I remember refereed Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe, and to fights like that. Those were really great fights, And
well, let me ask you the question here. What was it like to be the third man in the ring of great fights like that? When you speak about Iran Barkley and Roberto Duran, you said that was in a great atmosphere, at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City during a blizzard, and you're the third person in that ring with 2 legends.
I'll tell you, it was amazing. Sometimes I got to pinch myself. Sometimes when I watch it on TV, I say, wow, I can't believe I'm watching me refereeing this fight. It was one of the best fights I ever refereed. I refereed like close to 180 title fights. But this fight, that night, I think it was my 39th world title fight. It was amazing. It was just how these 2 guys were banging away. Just like when I've been in there with Mike Tyson so many times. I think it was 8 times total of his career. And beat it there with Roberto Duran, Lennox Lewis, Larry Holmes, you name it. I all the great fighters, Manny Pacquiao, Sugar Ray Leonard, and just to name a few, Fernando Vargas, so many great ones, and Oscar De La Hoya, Julio Cesar Chavez, Pedro Whitaker. I could go on and on with days of great champions that I've been in there with. I can't believe that I refereed those great fighters. It's been like a dream come true.
And some of them, again, and the reason we're honoring you is, you refereed some great fights, but a lot of those fights took place, here in Atlantic City. Like you spoke about Camacho and Sugar Ray Leonard. That was Sugar Ray Leonard's last fight was here in Atlantic City, and you refereed that fight.
Exactly.
Against Camacho.
Yeah, exactly. It was the only time that Sugar Ray Leonard has been stopped, and he got, I believe I stopped in the 4th round. After he got dropped from Camacho. Sugar Ray Leonard was already retired. He came back. I think he came back more for the money. I don't think it was the ego. I think he came back for the extra couple of maybe $4 or $5 million that he got for that fight. But when I stopped it, I had him. He got dropped, but he got up. Then he took a barrage of punches up against the rope, and I jumped in. I stopped it when his knees buckled. I stopped it, and I held him in my arm, and in my ear, he said, "Thanks, Joe." It was unbelievable. But it was sad to see him lose that way that night. But it was an honor referee Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh, I know for one thing, my husband is going to be so excited to meet you. He just couldn't wait for this show to come on because he loves boxing so much. And when I told him who our guest was going to be today, I said, you're going to meet him when we get to Atlantic City. So he told me to tell you hi, and he's looking forward to meeting you.
Tell your husband I said hello. looking forward to meeting him as well.
He's the same with the stylistics and with the Commodores and back in the days. So the famous groups, Commodore stylistics, were really top of the line back in the 60s and 70s, right?
70s and 80s.
70s, 80s, okay. 70s and 80s, yeah. Anyway, so but he's really looking forward to be at the Atlantic City Hall of Fame, and looking forward to be with some of the great champions.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you were out there watching, please make sure you attend this event, because this event is going to be special. Meet all the great champions and all the individuals who've been involved with boxing, trainers, managers, promoters, cutmen, it's just, you name referees, judges, they're all going to be there for that event. And last time I went there, one of my colleagues, Benji Estevez, got inducted, and he was really a big fan favorite. And I remember that when I was there that night, I couldn't believe seeing Roberto Duran and Ray Barkley there again. They were all there, and some of these great champions, Ray Mercer. They was
You have Michael Spinks here. We're going to this year we're going to have Pepino Cuevas. We're going to have Carlos Zarate. We're going to have Yaki Lopez, Danny Little Red Lopez, Michael Nunn, Larry Holmes. You said Michael Spinks, Ray Mercer, and there's so many other fighters that come in from from the region, from New York and Philadelphia, PA area. So Bobby Ches was here last year, and like Iran Barkley, Junior Jones. I mean, there's just so many great champions that come in for the event. That as a fan, if you.
Yeah. Now you just finished mentioning some of the champions that are going to be there. You mentioned Bobby Ches. Bobby Ches, I know he has a cancer problem most recently. You know his condition by any chance?
Yeah, actually, he's been going through the process of their. They just had a few fundraisers for Bobby over the last 2 months, and he is obviously he's going through a battle, but to my understanding, he is he's not skipping a beat. I know I just seen him at an event with Larry Holmes, I think about 2 weeks ago. So I'm not sure the full condition or, like where he's at in the process, but to my understanding, he's still out and about, trying to make appearances and still, just tracking through, this unfortunate situation that he's dealing with.
Yeah, I refereed several times in Atlantic City when Lou Duva was his trainer, and Bobby was a good light heavyweight. And for some of the great ones out there. But we also, I remember you just mentioned Larry Holmes. I remember refereeing Larry Holmes against Mike Tyson there in Atlantic City. When Mike Tyson knocked out Larry Holmes in the fourth round. Actually, I stopped the fight. After he got dropped the second time, I said, that's it. I don't want to see any more punishment. Because Tyson was in his peak, in his prime, and Holmes was on his way out. And I said, it's going to be probably his last fight. I don't want to see him get hurt seriously. So I stopped it. As soon as he hit down, I waved it off. I didn't bother to count.
And I'm sure, and those are, moments, obviously we get a chance to see a emerging young champion like Mike Tyson, and, unfortunately see a former champion like Larry Holmes, go out like that. But, it's the sport that we're in, and you speak about that fight that night in Atlantic City. My memory of that evening was the chance, I had a chance to see Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a nostalgic trip for us when we come out there.
It's going to be nice, having Ray McCline on the show today, very special. I mean, he's the president of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and not just any Hall of Fame. Atlantic City is very special, not only to myself, but to all the fans out there, all the individuals around the world. Always remember, Atlantic City, New York, and Las Vegas, those are the three meccas of boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, Atlantic City, we have all the big ones out there, Ray.
Yeah. Yes, we did, and it's some great memories, and that's what like we really try that it's.
Yeah, we had we keep having some audio difficulties, but we keep on talking about the Atlantic City Hall of Fame, September 26th to the 28th. Atlantic City, September. It's going to be a great night of boxing. Fans to come out and see and greet some of the greatest fighters and all of the individuals involved with boxing. Like I said before, you're going to meet judges, referees, ex-fighters, historians of boxing. It's going to be a special night of boxing. Let's go back to Ray. Okay, we got you again, Ray.
Okay.
We want to thank you so much for being a guest on our show today.
Yes,
And,
absolutely. I can't wait to get out there and meet you in person. Because this
Thank you, Shelly.
Zoom thing with the headphones and everything, and the thing keep cutting out. I don't even know where my other headphone is.
But anyway,
Not a problem. We are prisoners of technology sometimes.
Yes. Well,
Anyway,
I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
yeah, we want to say thank you so much, Ray. Again, give a last couple of words about the Hall of Fame Productions, September 26th to the 28th in Atlantic City. Go ahead, Ray.
I thank you again, Shelly and Joe, for the invitation to be on. The Hall of Fame weekend, again, is September 26th, 27th, and 28th at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Again, it's a great weekend. All the information that you would like, you want to find out about the Hall of Fame can be found on our website at www.acbhof, which is the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. On social media platforms, the same, ACBHOF. And again, all the information that you want to find out about, hotel bookings, tickets.
Okay, yeah, we lost him again. But anyway, we want to say, you fans out there, thank you so much. Don't forget, book your rooms as soon as possible because rooms are going quick. A lot of individuals want to get out there to this Hall of Fame. It's going to be a special year. We're all in great shape. You're going to get inducted. We hope to see you there. Take care. God bless. Have a good weekend. Keep your guards up at all time and protect us at all time. Undisputed champ, Shelly Wesley. Shelly
We'll see you
Stevens.
Saturday. We'll see you Saturday at Lola's as always. You're going to stop by after you finish watching the boxing match?
Yeah, we got a boxing match at the Mandalay Bay, and from there we go to Lola's.
Perfect. And before we go, we just want to give a special shout out to my daughter, Christina, and my niece/goddaughter, Jessica, who celebrated their birthdays last week and this week. And we went out to LA to celebrate together. And I love them so much. So blowing kisses to them.
Take care. See you next week.
Bye.